All right, here we go.
Let's
Welcome
go.
to the very first episode of What I Wish I Had Known Before.
Before.
I'm your girl, Coach Kim, and I'm here with my co host, JB,
That's right.
and this is the first episode.
Very first. How you feeling?
Man, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. We have so many conversations to have with so many people. Goal
Absolutely.
is to help inspire people, create a learning opportunity for everybody who's going to watch. So I'm looking forward to this whole thing. How are you feeling?
I feel great. We have so much to unpack, excuse me, and it's going to be impactful and I'm ready to get started.
All right. So before we jump in, I want the viewers to understand the premise behind the creation of what I wish I had known before. This was the vision that the Lord gave me. He literally just said, He gave me the words, what I wish I had known before. And from that, I thought two different things. One, as a therapist, I have many people who come into my office and they have regrets and they have woes and they have, wishes that they could have do overs. And a lot of times they say, man, I wish I had known that things were going to turn out this way, or I wish I had this level of information before I made this decision. And then also, you and I are both parents. Okay, you have
Yes.
four kids, I have three kids, and
Yes.
between the two of us, your oldest son is 28.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you also have a 23,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I have a
That's right.
22 that's going to be 23 this year.
That's
So we
right.
have some children that are not children anymore. They're adults.
That's
They're
right.
young adults.
Right.
And then we also have the gamut of teenagery also coming up the rear. So we have a population of children in our vicinity that we can look at and we say, hey, I remember where we were at that time, and here are the things that I wish that
Yes.
I'd known, things that I wish people had told me before I got to my adulthood. So that was the premise of why I created this. I wanted to create a platform where people can listen to others' stories and experiences and learn so they don't have to go through the bumps and the bruises that we all had to experience to learn the same information. It's about working smarter and working harder. And if I can teach people through my experiences, then you are all the better for that. So that's the premise behind what I wish I had known before. And we just want to have thousands and thousands and thousands of conversations with people on different topics, such as marriage, such as parenthood, adulthood, careers, starting businesses, etc. So, you ready to jump in?
I am. And I'm so looking forward to this. You have um, opened not only my eyes, but we're about to open the viewers' eyes to what I wish I had known before. So, for that first topic, how are you feeling? You have anything in mind?
Yeah, I think that we should go for the jugular. And I think we should talk about what I wish I had known before getting married.
Uh-oh. Well, put the
Yeah,
seatbelt on because I think
I know.
we may
I
need a
know.
cup of coffee for that.
Or a glass of wine if you
Or a glass of
you
wine.
know like I know. Um, so JB, do you want to take it first or you want me to share mine first?
You know what? I'll be in the hot seat first. I think
All right, let's go. All right,
let's
let's
go.
talk about what you wish you had known before you got married. And as you go into your story, give the viewers a little background about what is your marital history.
Okay. Well, first I would say I was married twice, and the very first time, um, I could just say honestly, I would not only wanting to do the right thing, I would just say I was young. So as I got married in my early 20s, the second marriage was in my better yet in my 30s. But for myself, I had one child from my first marriage, and then in the second marriage is where we had the additional. I had the additional children. For myself, I look at truly the most impactful part that I could take from both relationships in that space is really when it comes to communication and having the tough conversations. Um,
All right, tell me what you mean
Sometimes,
when you say tough conversations. Give me an example of what that looks like. What's a tough conversation that
hmm,
you had?
well, I would say for myself, man or woman, you're going to go through so many different changes, and especially through your life, early on, especially being in your 20s or 30s, you're going to have from financial ups and downs. You may just have life ups and downs where you're trying to figure things out, and along in that space, you're going to have those real strong conversations with your partner. And I saw that that was one place that I could look back and say, I did not have that. And I can see how important and impactful it is to let someone know, those things that are really important to you, what's happening in your world, in your mind, so that you can better yet, be vulnerable. Being vulnerable with someone can let them see that space that you're in, where you're at, and most importantly, if you do need to get help, that you can get that therapy that you may need. Um, I could see it early on in both relationships where if I didn't agree with someone, I may not have just voiced it or expressed it. So I think that having the tough conversations can definitely, I mean, ultimately it can save relationships, marriages, but it also can get you in that relationship to a place where it could either repair certain situations or but it can make you heal in that as well. So I can look at having tough conversations with your partner, spouse, is a very strong place, I would say, to start in marriage. What
Okay.
I've learned.
All right. So tell me what you think. How do you think the outcome would have been different for you if you'd known this information? What do you think would have been different? Do you think you would have stayed in those relationships, or what do you think would have been the outcome?
To stay in those relationships, I won't just say go to that extreme, but it would have taken the pressure off of me in the relationship, holding that over myself, or better yet, not explaining it, because I think that when someone can at least see where you are, or you've expressed it to them, you're at face value, you're in a place that each of you can now communicate, and that is one big space just there by itself, being open to hear each other and learn from that. So I would say it may not have saved the relationship, but it would also put everything in a space, a platform to where we could really adjust together in a better space. We could have done many things, and I feel that from there, you never know what type of help that you could get by opening up. So I feel strongly with that it may not have saved the relationship, but it also would have opened up some avenues that could have assisted.
You mentioned accessing help a couple of times, which I think is incredible because you don't hear a lot of men in the space of talking about reaching out to others, accessing a community, if you will, for help. What do
Hmm.
you think? What do you think would have changed for you if you'd had access to community? And did you know you had access to community?
I did not, and that also comes from my upbringing. Um, I would say the first and foremost, knowing that I could have had help would have really opened a lot of avenues to me, just say from a personal standpoint. But not having tough conversations, I was a quiet person to myself. I would say in that space there, I isolated. And to me, isolation is something that I'm learning now is the wrong thing to do. Um, now that I'm in my men's groups, and in addition to men's groups, just being around men, um, not only from my church but other groups, I see how we can work together and help each other. And that was something that I did not even have my mind wrapped around at the early stages of my marriage. And then in my second marriage as well, I didn't realize that. So I isolated. I did get therapy, but I did not just see the significance of how important it would be to have relationships with men, other people that are going through the same thing to normalize it. So I would say isolating is something that I would just tell everyone don't do it. Get the help that you need. Communicate, and once you can begin to heal that way, I feel that you're opening the door so you can be more successful in your own life and yeah, in your relationship.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think you bring up a really important point about not isolating,
Hmm.
and that there's. I was just telling a group of ladies tonight that community breeds understanding, and it breeds self compassion, whereas isolation breeds, rejection and
Yes.
judgment. You know,
Yes.
because you
Very
feel
true.
judged when you don't feel understood.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that if you're in a marriage where you feel isolated, the person you're supposed to go to is your partner.
Right.
You're at odds with your partner. You don't have anywhere else to go to. That must have felt lonely.
Eh,
That must have felt,
yes. And that should be the one place that in relationships you should be able to turn to your spouse to have that vulnerability with. And that is, you're absolutely right. So, um, seeing on this platform here, where I would definitely encourage it in any conversation we have to let viewers know, um, don't isolate. Not only get the help you need, but most importantly, as you communicate and grow to that better version of yourself, um, you you just keep growing with your partner so that you can see the better levels of your relationship that you can have.
yeah, that's great advice to the viewers. So, to everybody listening out there, don't isolate. Reach out to your community, get the help that you need.
So, Kimberly,
Yeah,
we got to turn it now. So, we are about to hear Coach Kim's "What I Wish I Had Known Before
man.
About
I'll
Marriage."
put all this in my book one day, but what I wish I'd known before I got married, I wish that I knew that love was not all you needed to make it work.
Oh,
um, it's a great song from the Beatles, but it's just not true.
you have to
Love is not
tell the
all you
viewers
need.
more.
Lord
Now
have
you
mercy.
opened it up. I like how you opened that up right there. So you have to tell us more.
Yeah, I got married really young. I was 22. Got married 9 months of the day of my first date with my ex-husband, and I'm gonna be completely transparent here. Was looking to fill a void. Um, I got married 2 years right off the heel of some extreme trauma. I was raped my freshman year of college, and it was very traumatic for many reasons. It resulted in me feeling very alone, very abandoned. And there was a part of me that just wanted to be loved in a way that I'd never felt loved by anybody else, including myself. I wish I'd known that self love was so important. And I didn't know. I didn't know I wasn't healed. And so I went in. I
Mhm.
went in thinking, well, I'm in love. He loves me, so he'll show up and he'll be
Okay.
everything I need and he'll make me happy, you know. But that's a
Man.
fatal flaw
Yeah.
in many, many relationships. It's one of the biggest myths of marriage is that the institute of marriage itself
Hmm.
will make you happy and that it's your partner's responsibility to make you happy. And I know that we both are big fans of Pastor Darius Daniels. We both listen to him.
Absolutely.
And one of the things, one of the most enlightening things I heard him say is that um, your happiness is not anybody else's responsibility except you and God's. That's a you and God conversation. And when you start giving human beings God responsibilities, you are bound to end up disappointed. And that certainly was true in my situation. Before I could lay any level of blame or criticism at my ex husband's feet, I have to take ownership of the fact that I walked myself into that situation. I was the one who
Yeah.
came in with the idea that the institution of marriage alone would make me happy and did not take ownership of the fact that my happiness was my responsibility. So I wish I had understood the impact of my own happiness on my relationship.
Okay. I'll tell you, I can just see a whole episode just in regards to your happiness in relationships, or better yet, what are you going to do to create that? Just say that best version of yourself. So I know you just gave the viewers just a piece of not only marriage and what I wish I had known before, but it did open up an area of better yet. Before I even go there, you can just tell the viewers um, now that you just say now that you know that in regards to happiness, what could you also tell the viewers now?
I would tell them, do the work now. You know,
Yeah.
um, do the work while you're single. Do the work while you are, if you are young and without children. You know, do the work while you're the only person that you're responsible for.
That's true.
Um, do the healing work now because it impacts everything about the decisions that you'll make in the future. When you don't have self love,
Mm. Yeah.
then the lens that you see the world through is dimmer because you don't know your worth and you don't know what you deserve. So you'll accept less.
Mm.
You know, you allow yourself to put up with stuff that you don't need to be putting up with. If I'm being honest.
That's real.
If you value yourself, you really have to question yourself through the lens of if I value myself the way, like if I see myself as a child of the king,
Hmm.
you know, that makes me royalty. It's a decision that I'm making reflective of my royalty,
That's right.
you know. And if it's not, what do I need to do to alter my decision making? What's the long term impact? Not just the temporary one, you know. But the
Right.
only way that you're going to get to that level of deep self analysis is you got to do the work. You can't run from the uncomfortable. You can't run from the painful. You can't run from the
Yeah.
trauma. You gotta allow yourself to feel and process and know that you'll survive it.
Yeah. Just hearing you speak on that, I know I had mentioned having the tough conversations, and I was actually looking at it in regards to in the relationship speaking to someone, but you just opened the door just to have the tough conversations with self.
Yeah.
And that is just another layer of not only healing and just as we touched on healing, that is a very strong topic because even in marriage, as we're speaking and going into a new relationship, going into it and you're still healing, and you spoke on um, not only saying from a healed standpoint, but putting in the work to make sure that you're that best version of yourself. So uh, I commend you on that because that is a strong place to not only be but also being able to acknowledge that I got work to do on self so I can continue to grow and, like you said,
Absolutely.
love yourself.
Absolutely. And I don't want to give the viewers an idea that there's an end game here as far as, oh,
Right.
I've made it, like I've grown and I've hit the pinnacle and I can stop now.
Yeah.
Like your growth and your
Yeah.
development is going to be a lifetime journey,
That's right.
you know. But I will say this: it's easier, comparatively, easier to do the work while you are unattached. It's harder to do the work when you're attached, because think about it like this: when you're healing, you're changing, you're growing. You get involved in a relationship with someone when you're in the depths of your trauma, your unhealed trauma, then you're going to do a lot of shifting during the course of the relationship.
Right.
That person that you got in a relationship with is likely to say, "You changing, you different." And the truth of the matter is that you are, which isn't a bad thing, but it may not be the thing that that person signed up for. Sometimes the people that you meet in your unhealed brokenness
Right.
depend on you to be unhealed to stay in that relationship because it benefits them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just
So
opened another great subject right there in regards
yeah,
to. I know as you're healing, the person now that you were in the relationship with, you better yet you came in on a one level, but now you are healing and growing, and this is where they're at. So now you have the relationship becomes. You can just say you have some conversations to have, like you say some. You can have to have those conversations to see where you're at in the relationship and how you're growing, so you can stay connected. And that's you brought up some very very good topics right there, and I can see just we're just having a taste of what's to come right now. So I do see how it's just a beautiful subject right here in regards to marriage.
yeah. This subject of marriage is endless. And this is the reason why we want to have thousands and thousands and thousands of conversations with others, with couples, with individuals, with groups of people on topics like this and other topics. Because listen, even though we all have different independent experiences, we also have so many commonalities. My prayer and my hope is that the watchers will listen to our stories
Right.
and see glimpses of themselves enmeshed in the lives of other people, so that they know it's not just you, so that you know that there are other people out there who understand your experience. And if they are, as you described earlier, JB, isolating,
Mm-hmm.
they know that it's not required that they isolate because they have community out there. And it's important that you seek it and you find it. And it's important that you use the tools that are available to help you learn and grow. And that's what I hope that this podcast will be for the viewers.
Absolutely. Well, I feel that we are giving the viewers a taste of what's to come. And how do you feel so far?
I feel great. I feel like there are so many other things that we need to tackle. In fact, I think that we should come back for a part two
That
on
sounds
this
good to
so that
me.
we
I
can
like
tackle another
it.
topic. Um, and then and let the viewers get to know who we are before we start bringing in, other guests that we will interview and get to learn some of their stories as well. But we charity begins at home, so I want us to give of ourselves to the viewers before we
Right.
do this good work that the Lord laid on our hearts. So you guys
Absolutely.
have to stay tuned. This is the first episode. So stay tuned. We're going to be dropping episodes once a week. So you got to come back here next week. If you got anything from the video, subscribe to the YouTube page, like the video, send it, share it
Yeah.
to anyone that you know, post it on all social media platforms.
Yes.
Support this good work and stay tuned because this is something the Lord put on our heart. We are not trained in podcasting. We just being obedient to what He told us to do. So stick with us. We will continue
Yes,
to
sir.
grow. We will continue to learn. We will take your suggestions. If you have comments, always feel free to comment on the YouTube page. But also, if you have questions or things that you want to email us directly, please hit us up to our email address. Our email address is whatiwishpodcast529@gmail.com. Okay. Do not hesitate to reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We look forward to seeing you guys next week for the next episode. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
All right.